What's going on YouTube? It's your man Azrael, the one here. Hey, listen, yo, shouts out to everybody. You know who you are. Shout yourself out at the video. Um, I'm not even gonna get into my general perfunctory that I normally do every video. Y'all should know by now. If you like what you see, you know how to get there, how to do the support thing. Make sure you guys, of course, my email, my Twitter will always be in the videos, whether they're actually embedded in the video or in the box. That's the way I'm accessible to you. Please, by all means, use it. I'm going to just try to jump straight into it and be quick about it. Now, this video I'm going to finally break this open because I've been meaning to do this for a while. And this is just an introductory video. I'm going to try to keep it short and sweet. And so that way, my collaborative partner, who has yet to be named, if he wants to jump in on the introductory video, can do that. But I've noticed I've been studying you Negroes. You pro-black, Pan-African, back to Africa, red, black, and green motherfuckers, you. Been studying y'all for a minute. And I start to realize you guys are tricksters in true form. It's funny how we can talk about white supremacy, racism, and all this. But yet, every word that comes out of your mouths is racist. Let me give you an example. When a white man like those cats over at Oklahoma University, Sigma Alpha Epsilon, was singing that chant, "There will never be a nigga SAE," clap, clap. Y'all got upset. Y'all got outraged. But for some reason, it's socially acceptable to go around and say these cave dogs, these beasts, these foul-smelling creatures, and so on and so forth, are less than you because they're, well, white and you're black. Should sound familiar to some of you because you like to call this thing white supremacy. But I'm here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that there is a such thing as black supremacy, and it masquerades itself under the guise of the pro-black movement. And don't get me wrong, I believe in people being pro-black. The true pro-blacks are the ones that seek knowledge, they seek tools, and they seek the truth, whether it's beneficial or detrimental for the advancement of the people. That, to me, is a definition of a true pro-black. The problem is, these Negroes who are quote-unquote pro-black, you know, the ones that never do shit for the hood, never come out and feed the hungry, never come out and clothe the naked, don't sit here and mentor these bastard children of single mothers who need a father desperately, never in sight. The ones who can sit there and stand on their soapbox and talk about the evils of the church, but yet has not moved to build one thing in their community, has not bought one house, has not created one business, has not even considered opening one single not-profit that will benefit a brother or a sister, has not created a mentoring program, has not even bothered to get on these politicians who are passing policies that are diametrically opposed to your black ass. Those Negroes, they will stand up on the soapbox and go, well, white, so on and so forth, and I'm not going to use the language they're using. I know I cuss a little too much. These Negroes, in my opinion, well, not my opinion, my observation, will engage in this racist type of dialogue and these epithets. And the irony here is this. When it's black, when it's white on black, everybody's shaking their fists. You see the Al Sharptons come out. You see these Messy Jacksons come out. Your Negro Leagues, the NAACP. But when it's the reverse way, it's chillier in December. Oh, and here's the funny thing about the black supremacy kick that you may not know. Because also in this black supremacy system, the darker you are, the easier it is to ridicule you. So take this with a grain of salt, but not only are they racist against white people, they're racist against people who have more melanin and rich skin than they do. See, me, I'm what you call a mochaccino brother. And there's people that are of this complexion that will ridicule someone who is darker, who's probably got more Africanized genes than they do. Go figure. I know I'm getting off on a tangent, so let me get back to it. These Negroes will go around quoting Minister Louis Farrakhan, who I really ain't got too much of an issue with, other than on certain things, because he said some things that are pretty profound, but that will be for a later video. They'll go around claiming how white people are genetically inferior because they sunburn. And then I would have no problem with that, except for they can't provide the medical evidence. They will call these people evolved from cave beasts and animals. Well, if you look at the science of the human race, if we buy into the theory of evolution, well then, by that same logic, we all come from the same stock, because all humans have evolved from a common hominid ancestor. Then they'll use this proposition of, well, we were gods and goddesses, and we were all these things, and we had a higher spiritual self. You see where I'm going with this? What these black supremacists attempt to do is try to reverse engineer white supremacy, which tries to explain the superiority of the white race through scientific principle, namely social and evolutionary Darwinism. And they try to turn it on its head. And they try to take pseudoscientific approaches to explain why they are better than white folks. But that's not even the crux of it. What it ends up doing to black people, and I say it's more detrimental to you, is because it ends up building up this false position of strength, this falsehood of, well, we were all kings and queens and gods and goddesses, and we could do all these things. But yet it could never explain why your black ass has fallen from the top to the bottom, because you were conquered by beings less than you. I want that to sink in for a second. If we were all these things as this black supremacist pro-black movement claims, then how is it that we allowed ourselves to be subjugated, beaten, whipped, chained, shipped overseas, exploited, then terrorized for another 100 years, and then still falling into a state of destitution, poverty, and despair? But then again, what do I know? I'm just a coon, right? I don't see this with my own two eyes. The point I'm making here is this, ladies and gentlemen, that this pro-black movement, which brings in some black supremacist ideals because they take and misrepresent the words of Marcus Garvey, Stokely Carmichael, Louis Farrakhan, El Haj Malik El Shabazz, and they try to use it as a means to denigrate another race and build up a false position of strength, and meanwhile have not really accomplished anything of significant or lasting substance that will benefit your black ass or mine. And what's going to happen is these Negroes will always talk about the race war that's coming. The race war that these Negroes have no idea how to even fight a regular war, but so-called unquote are like, gotta get rid of coon Negroes because you don't agree. Or they gotta get rid of these Uncle Toms and Crispies because they darker than you and you don't agree. Or they gotta get rid of these sellout Negroes because instead of kowtowing to this black bitch who they think is the sun, moon, and the stars, and meanwhile this bitch don't give a fuck about your black ass, you actually get with somebody that does care, that just happens to not be black. And then they attack you, and not only you, they attack your children. Who, and by the way, let's point out, these so-called unquote black supremacists love to attack your kids, but yet and still they say mixed people are black. I mean, I can go on and on ad nauseum here. But the point I'm trying to make here is this. These so-called unquote black supremacists love to attack everybody else on race. Like I said, you ain't got to go far. And in this video series, you're going to hear some video clips. You're going to hear some dialogues from some shows. You're going to hear some dialogues with some YouTube videos. And I'm going to take some people you know and some people you don't. And the people that I know, I'm going to give you credit. And the people I don't know, I'm still going to give you credit. Just so we know who your ass is. And I'm going to point out in this whole video series, of course, with my silent partner who has yet to name himself, we're going to show you that this so-called unquote pro-black / black supremacist movement is not only detrimental to you because it builds up a false position of strength, but it makes you look like a jackass because here it is, you're crying about racism in 2015, and now you are the biggest perpetrator of that racism. Further still, you are like sheep led to the slaughter.